He fished out a cigarette and leaned against the bulkhead. "Smoke?" He tilted the pack toward me, its paperboard quivering. I shook my head. "Obliged." He lit his cig, took a long drag, and bridged his forehead with his toking hand. "Feck me, what a cock-up," he muttered. Another drag. "How's that?" He shrugged with exasperation. "I bodged it." Glanced back at the ward. "Poor sod. In there blubbering his eyes out." Langston checked his watch. "Dear God, it's been 3 hours already. We'll a fair bit of a pong in there shortly if I don't get cracking." My take on the whole shebang up to this point was Langston rarely bodged anything. Occupying isolation ward in such a manner, its quarters generally reserved for confining infectious diseases and stowaways, was quick thinking on his part. He'd managed to temporarily relocate our female stowaway, too. One sidelong glance at my vacant mug told him I'd been occupied elsewise. I'd missed the main event. Security crew was spread thin over the imperial floating city on this trip, and tensions were high after receiving reports that Hitler had not just mobilized troops, but Luftwaffe and U-boats at Westerplatte. Nonna was waging her own war with dropsy, and Mum a touch of housemaid's knee. I'd been to their stateroom twice today already. I wondered if Langston knew anything yet. "Germany invaded the north coast of Poland," I said. Langston's eyes widened. He dropped his gasper. "You're fibbing me." I looked down at the smoldering stub, suddenly the least of my worries. "Before dawn." "Bloody Jerry's," Langston muttered as he fetched his cigarette off the hull and put it out. "And where have I been?" "Well, here, I suppose." Langston lit up another and launched into an abridged version of the past 24 hours. "Oh, well," he sighed. "We're in a wrench either way, so here's it. We admitted her Viscountess yesterday at 1500 hours. Fever, dyspnea, sick as a parrot." His shoulders sagged. "Said she'd been head down the loo since they boarded." "I see." "Gave her scopolamine, 3 hours fluids, and pulled her off at 2020. Temp, normal. Good skin turgor, no cyanosis." My best guess? A reassuring medical summary. More importantly, Langston needed to talk this one out. I'd rarely seen him this tuckered. I knew better than to dodge in with questions. "She took a late dinner, and I discharged her to bed rest in her stateroom." "Okay." "Nurse Eddie, first shift. Mentioned she saw the two of them taking a cuppa on the promenade at 0900. Not a park or a cat between them, mind you, legging it around the sun deck." I swallowed, catching on. All's wet with the bed rest. "Hells to yes, and then they alert one of the crew she's feeling a bit ropey, and she goes into cardiac arrest right then and there." "On deck?" "Out of deck. In front of God and the rest." He shook his head. "How did he think they would manage all alone? No carer, no mum?" I could only counter that Fallon, for reasons lost on us, had arranged their passage this way, without the supervision of any traveling attendant. Strange, but true. Langston wasn't appeased in the least. I know, he pigeoned a letter my way as well, but I'm telling you, mate, I'm buggered."